You know what every single personal injury lawyer can tell you? That every single one of their clients all have in common without one single exception? None of them expected to get in the car wreck the morning they woke up, left the house, and got in the car wreck. Life just happens.
You're listening to the Profit First for Lawyers podcast, the official companion show to the book Profit First for Lawyers by RJon Robins. Now, this podcast is for you if you want to bring home more profit while working fewer hours in the office, spending even more time with your loved ones, and turning your office into a lean, mean, profit-breathing machine. So if you're tired of working for your law firm instead of your law firm working for you, stay tuned for some really practical insights that will get you the results you've always wanted. It's time to put your BS aside for the next few minutes and put yourself, your family, your firm, and your profit first. Welcome back to the Profit First for Lawyers podcast. I'm your host, Carly, and today we're asking a simple but a sobering question. What happens to your business and your family if you get hit by a bus? I know, it sounds a little dramatic, but by the end of today's episode, I think you'll understand why this question matters more than almost anything else we've talked about so far. So buckle up, this might be a little bit difficult to hear. If you don't have a business that can run without you, you don't really have a business. You have a job where you work for yourself. Let's kick things off with a powerful clip from RJon about what it really means to take your law firm and your life seriously. Now, this was from some of our outtakes of Chapter 5. You remember Chapter 5. So if you're hoping to follow along in the book, you can't. This part is no longer in it. This is just bonus content from the cutting room floor. Let's roll the clip.
You would never invest in a business if you didn't understand how it was supposed to generate a revenue and produce a profit. Would you? I hope not. I definitely know I wouldn't. Actually, I have lots of times. I've learned this stuff the hard way. Don't be embarrassed if you get to the end of this chapter and you realize, holy crap, I've invested. I've asked my family to invest. I've asked my friends to invest. I've asked my staff and my clients to invest in a business that didn't have a clear plan for how it was supposed to consistently, predictably, reliably generate revenue, or processes and systems and procedures for how it was going to reliably and consistently and predictably convert that revenue into profit. I've been there. I've lived to tell the story, and now I'm writing a book about it. So don't feel bad if you find yourself in that predicament now. Today, I would never invest in a business unless it has a documented plan explaining how the owner plans to attract clients, make sales, and deliver whatever products or services were sold in the first place. And of course, I would want to see that there are systems and processes and procedures that would allow the business to continue functioning even if the owner were to go away for a little while or a long time, or maybe even gets hit by a bus. I actually know a lawyer who actually got hit by a bus.
Sorry, I've heard you say that a few times. I didn't realize that was a real story.
Well, there's a euphemism, a thing. People say, if you get hit by a bus. But I know a lawyer who actually got hit by a bus. I know a lawyer who got hit by a bus. I know a lawyer who got attacked by a seal. I don't mean like a Navy SEAL. I mean like an actual seal. He showed me a video of him getting attacked by a seal. He had to take a couple weeks off because he got bit on the foot by a seal.
Wow, new fear unlocked.
I know a lawyer who had a seizure. Never in her life ever had this happen in her whole life until she was like in her mid-30s. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bam, it just happened. Life happens. You know what every single personal injury lawyer can tell you? That every single one of their clients all have in common without one single exception? None of them expected to get in the car wreck the morning they woke up, left the house, and got in the car wreck. Life just happens. Anyway, the point is, I wouldn't want to invest in a business, and I don't want your family to be invested in a business that is being run by the most brilliant, amazing, wonderful, spectacular person in the world, i.e. you, unless the business has processes and systems and procedures for how the business will continue to function, how each of these 7 main parts of the business will continue to function, even if you have to step away for a little or a long time. Maybe for good reasons. Maybe you decide to go to your best friend's wedding. Maybe you decide to go on a vacation. Maybe you decide to take your kids on a college tour. The point is, it doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. We want to build a business that is sustainable, and we want to build a business that can operate independently of you and your brilliance. Otherwise, it's not a business. It's just a practice. It's just a job.
Man, this clip gets me every time. But once you get past the wild stories, there's something deeply grounding here. It's the reminder that life happens. Unexpected things happen, tragic things, hilarious things, beautiful things. But they often have one thing in common. They're unpredictable. And when life happens, your business can either keep running or fall apart. The way to make sure it keeps running? Systems, processes, procedures, a clear documented plan, and spoiler alert, it starts with taking your financials seriously. But before we get into RJon's next clip from a live quarterly meeting, here's a word from our sponsor, which is, just us, trying to help you run a more profitable law firm. We've created a great resource just for you to help you make your law firm more profitable right now. It's called the Profit Leak Assessment. I teamed up with Evelyn Acoyne, who is how to manage a small law firm's financial literacy and strategy expert, to put together a practical and extremely profitable, on-demand, completely free course that's going to help you find thousands of dollars in your proverbial couch cushions. Well, if you're anything like the other law firm owners we've helped anyway. And I promise, no complicated math involved. This is just our way of saying thank you. So sign up now by going to profitfirstforlawyers.com/profit leak or clicking the link in our show notes. All right, now let's get back to RJon, and this time he's bringing some tough love and real clarity about your relationship with your numbers. Let's roll the clip.
If you take the profitability of your law firm seriously, then you will become financially literate. And you will take advantage of your financial literacy by embracing. And eventually you're going to discover that it's not only very profitable, but it's very empowering, and it's actually even fun to embrace the financials in your law firm. Does this seem like a reasonable proposition? Is there anyone who thinks that's unreasonable? Okay. If you do not take it upon yourself to become financially literate, then you are either extremely unsophisticated and don't understand how much you're missing out on, or you might be financially literate, but you don't lean into your financials. You hide out from your financials. You say such things as, "I'm sorry, CFO, I can't meet with you today to talk about making sure that all of this is actually making a profit for my family because I'm too busy doing other important work." You recognize the mockery? I'm trying to mock you. I'm trying to help you understand how silly you sound when you say that. Right? Anyone ever hear a client say something like that? Yeah? Like, I'm too busy doing something that isn't really going to make a difference in my life in the long term to meet with you to work on something that really will make a big difference in my life in the long term. Yeah? Or there's a third option. The third option is you are afraid. And I used to be afraid of my financials also. So look, these are the three choices you've got. I made a slide for it. Ready? You can become financially literate and be in control of your future. You can remain financially illiterate, and then you better buckle up and get ready to settle for whatever life's got left over, because you're going to be settling for the leftovers. Or you can be financially literate but ignore your financials, in which case, I don't know a nicer way to say this, you're acting like a fool. Does this seem like a reasonable, is there a fourth option that anyone can think of? Because I thought about it and I couldn't think of a fourth option. To me, these are the only things I can think of as your choices. Either you become financially literate and you get to be in control of your future, which is better, or you remain financially illiterate, in which case you are going to settle for leftovers in life, which I would argue is worse. The only thing that, by the way, makes that even remotely tolerable for most of you is because you're so damn lucky. You are so damn lucky that you live in this country. And you are so damn lucky that you have the level of education that you have, that the leftovers that many of you are settling for are like the prime rib for most people in the rest of the world. But you could be having so much more, and then you could use that to do so much more good in the world if only you would step up and embrace financial literacy. And then, of course, like I said, the third option is you are financially literate, but you're just a fool, and you don't use your financial literacy to make better decisions about your business and your future. Make sense? All right. So those are your three choices.
Whew. Now that was not easy to hear, but it's true. It's also what makes this next part even more personal for me. Oh, do you hear the kettle? That means it's time for some tea. This one's a little vulnerable. I was on the phone with RJon not that long ago, and he asked me about my estate plan, and I told him, RJon, I don't have an estate plan yet. And he got genuinely upset with me. Not like performatively upset, not trying to prove a point upset, just deeply concerned. And he said, Carly, how can you say that you care for your daughter and want the best for her when if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, she'd be left out in the cold? And then he walked me through it. No estate plan means your family has to scramble. They have to dig through documents, submit forms, wait for court approvals. If her dad wasn't available and my daughter was sitting in my mother's lap crying because I was gone, child services would still have to take her into foster care because no document would exist saying that she could stay with my family. And I just sat there kind of silent and stunned because he was right. I may not own a business, but my lack of documentation could have dire consequences for my family. And you'd better believe that I am currently shopping for an estate planning lawyer because the reality that RJon painted for me was stark. Okay, so how do you apply this to your law firm? Well, here's what you can do. Starting today, first, if you don't have systems in place, real written, repeatable systems for how your law firm is supposed to generate revenue, for how it fulfills services and produces profit, make that a priority. Because if your business can't run without you, then you don't have a business. You just have a job. Second, take your financial literacy seriously. Read the reports, learn what they mean, meet with your CFO, even if it's uncomfortable. And if you don't have a CFO, get one. If you don't have a bookkeeper who helps you understand your numbers, find one who will. Third, if you've been avoiding your estate planning, please handle it. Even if you're young, even if you're healthy, even if you're not ready, because if you love the people in your life, you plan like you won't be here tomorrow. You don't do it because it's fun. You do it because it's right, and you do it right now, not when you're less busy or after the next big client or when you finally hit that revenue goal. You do it because it's what leadership looks like. So go get your plan in order, put the systems in place, take your numbers seriously. Do it for the business that you're building, do it for your future and your family, do it for yourself. Take care of the people who count on you, and put your profit first. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Profit First for Lawyers podcast. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, tell a friend and buy your copy of the book at profitfirstforlawyers.com. Your future self will thank you for it, and we will see you next time.